Okay, well, I've started streaming on my laptop, and I'm not sure if that means that the video is live yet, but it seems like it might be, because it says end stream, and I'm gonna guess that that means that I'm streaming. So, welcome everyone. Where should I start and where should I go? Let's come to the desktop. So what's going on and what am I doing right now? Well, obviously I'm streaming. So yeah, I mean, I've been a little bit MIA for the past few months, or really the greater part of the year. And that's because I've been working on my website, which I've pretty much talked about in every video that I've made in the past few months, which has just been like two or three. Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of work, and I thought, it would be nice if I could just stream a little bit so you guys know kind of what I'm up to, because I'm like working just as actively, if not more actively, on this project than I was before. It's just that a lot of it is happening behind the scenes for various reasons. I mean, for one, it's kind of just boring. But yeah, I mean, my thought is that I wanted to create all that content on the website so that I could give more professional private lessons and also make better videos, because because a long time ago I started making videos and I would kind of go off the top of my head, but in a kind of sequence, but kind of vague. And I made my first few videos, and then like a year and a half later I was like, I kind of want to start over and just make it in an even better way, with an even better organization of information. And then I revised yet again, and so I'm always kind of revising this kind of curriculum and sequence that I want to follow and how I want to present the information. And so because of doing all that, one, I don't want to repeat myself too much and make videos that I've already made, but at the same time, I want to kind of follow I don't know, like a kind of sequence or like a logical order. So I don't know. It's just I've been thinking about all of that, and while I create the website, on the programming side, I have to learn all the programming, but on the side of the content, that's a whole other kind of thing that I have to work on. And then there's the dictionary, which is just it's more like busy work. I mean, it's more just like just doing it and redoing basically all the Wiktionary words and all of that, just putting all that in my dictionary on my website. I mean, we're talking about thousands of words. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing, kind of a lot of things all at once. And because of that, I kind of am trying to create a finished product. I mean, it's something that'll take a long time still to finish, but at least some kind of have a kind of a clear vision where I can make videos off of that. And then also because the videos are kind of like help basically show and promote the website. And so right now it's kind of like, why make videos if, I am talking about this website that doesn't exist yet, So that's why I really focus on that a lot this year, because as the vision has been growing, I also see how much of a valuable kind of resource this could be. So it motivates me more to just kind of stick with that, even if it means at the expense of some, more like a constant flow of YouTube content. Also, I've been moving like 20 times this past year, but I'm finally in a house/place where I'm kind of settled down, and I'm gonna be here hopefully until like second quarter of next year, or I guess second quarter, something like that. So anyway, so I'm here for a while yet, and that's great actually. So yeah, so it also means that I can have as you see, like I've put a little bit of time into making like a cute little setup for streaming and things like that. Before I just kind of on my couch or whatever. Now I have like my little, not really an office, but like a kind of setup. So I've been just working on a lot of stuff, and I still am, but and this is why I'm streaming today. Basically, I thought, well, you know what? Now that I've done a lot of the programming stuff, what's left is is putting stuff on the dictionary. That's one thing that I've been working a lot on. And one of those things involves bringing all of the audios from Wiktionary, which are hosted on Wikimedia Commons, actually. So if you go to Commons, I have my account. And so uploads, I guess. Yeah. So actually, I've recorded for Spanish as well, but in theory, there's like a lot of audios for. There we go. We have our audios that we recorded for Wiktionary, for the dictionary on Wiktionary, and they're all here. But I needed to There's also there's like 3 different accounts that have them and stuff like that. So I was like, at first I was downloading them one by one, and I was like, this is never gonna work. There's like 2,800 and something audios. This is actually, there's more, but there's about 100 audios that I deleted because of some being repeats, some being wrong in some way or whatever. So at the end there's about 2,850 or something audios. So I was like, there's no way. So I found a way, with some help from friends, I was able to download all of them. And by the way, the file names were like this. And the way the website works is that, just to give a little example, so let's say we have, I don't know, this word, ihna. So the way the website works is there's a transliteration for this word. Actually, there's the transliteration for the word, which is like the single official transliteration, but then every single possible pronunciation has its own transliteration. I don't know if I have something that could be an maybe madrasa? No, I haven't really done that yet, but words can have multiple pronunciations. I don't know if I have a word that shows that yet, but in theory there would be like multiple pronunciations here, and each one has its own transliteration, which is like or transcription basically. Which would be like this. So there would be madrasa and madrasa and madrasi or whatever, and basically the site searches the folder for the website for an audio titled whatever the transliteration is. So madrasa or madrasa or madrasi, these would be 3 different audios reflecting 3 different pronunciations of this word, basically about how the Tamat is pronounced. So the file name has to be formatted like this. It cannot be this nonsense. So I mean, this is after spending hours. I mean, it wasn't like hard or anything, but I mean, like, just tedious, renaming 2,800 and something audios in this particular format. And a lot of them were like, mostly having like Arabic names or whatever. And this other information. And so I had to kind of think about also like, how do I want to, because I'm basically creating like a standardized transliteration system, which is adapted from the one that is official for Wiktionary. But I kind of adapted it. So, I changed some of the letters a little bit. So instead of like kha, instead of being like K with like a line under it or some weird thing that Wiktionary uses, I'm just using the letter X. So for example, I can't see a specific, or no, wait, matbakh here, matbakh with the X. So anyway, so I was kind of, I had to standardize that before I could do this. There's always kind of like a list of huge things that I have to do. Like first, okay, I want to have the audios, but in order to have the audios, I need to know how to name them. And to know how to name them, I need to come up with like a good system, which, I mean, that already I had done. But like, there's always kind of like one thing depends on another thing. The work kind of spirals in scope. So right now what I'm doing, I've renamed all the files, actually, except for like 30 that I need to double check something. And basically I was just going down the line and just checking all of them. Like making sure, because I renamed them based on the word as it's indicated in the file name. But what happened was sometimes I named the file like in the website that we use to record the audios. I would write down, let's say, I don't know, let's say this word, or any word, I don't know. So I would write it, but then it could have been interpreted as another word. Like, for example, daras, it's spelled the same as dars, but they're different words. So it could have, so sometimes it happened where I wrote one word, but a different one was said than the one that was expected. And so the file name is not actually, or like it's different slightly from the word that was actually said. They're actually not the same word. So I renamed the files according to the name in Arabic, but sometimes that's actually wrong because the actual word that was recorded was different. But you can't change the names of the files after you've made them on Commons, or I think you can, but you have to like request to do so. I don't know, it's kind of dumb and inconvenient, basically. So I had to just leave them as they are. So when I download them, well, finally I have the kind of power to rename everything. And honestly, that's what I really love about doing this with the website and having my own dictionary and all that, because I mean, I love Wikipedia and Wiktionary and Commons. I really do. But I mean, this is the level of control that I need to do the job at the level of kind of professionalism, or I don't know, that I want, you know? I don't like having these random files with like names that are actually not the word, and then it's like confusing, and I don't know. This is really how it should be. And of course, you'll notice that I have transliteration instead of, why don't I just write the Arabic word? There's a few reasons for that. And again, it kind of comes down to the vowels and that kind of thing, because, the word hab and hub would be spelled the same without the short vowels, and also dars and daras. And so, and that's fine. Like on the website itself, I mean, I use Arabic script everywhere. It's just that the transliteration is used to basically make the words unique from each other in certain important ways. So like the link to the page for ahna is written in this way, ahna, So hab and hub would be different because they would be transliterated differently. But like when you actually look at the page title, they look the same actually, or they would in theory. They haven't made those two words yet, I think. So the page title would be the same, but the link would be unique, right? So that makes the pages unique themselves, and the two words would be unique in that way. And likewise for the audio. So it's about making things unique, but it's not like I'm not using this script really for much more than just that particular purpose. And what else? So yeah, basically what I've been doing now is just going down the line and checking all these audios, and it's a little bit tedious, but I mean, I'm gonna do it anyway. So I was like, I'll just stream myself doing it, and if someone wants to watch, there's, feel free, and and again, to just show that I'm alive, and there's always kind of like little interesting tidbits along the way for those of you who are kind of interested in like the technical aspects of Arabic and the dialect and things like that. Listening to these audios and figuring out what's the most correct transliteration is actually kind of interesting. There's kind of always interesting little takeaways. So what I'm going to do now is double check nobody has said anything on Discord. Please join if you haven't. Let's see how the stream is looking. Excellent connection. Okay, that's great. Just came, hey, are you still adding words to Wiktionary? You should add some ads to benefit. It doesn't even have to be a lot of ads. Okay, well, first of all, hi. Thank you. Am I still adding words to Wiktionary? I am not. And I will not be doing that anymore. My dictionary is going to be where I will be doing my work. Not because I have anything against Wiktionary, but because it just makes a million times more sense. It's easier to do it on my website, like, totally, and there's a million honestly benefits to the way that I've constructed this dictionary, which, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like that was the whole purpose of doing it. It was like, okay, now I can make whatever I want and do it in whatever way I want. So there's a million possibilities with using a database that you do not have on Wiktionary. So like, you know, on this site, for example, you can filter, okay, I want all nisba. Like, so first of all, these are filters, right? And this is a little bit new. Obviously you would see APP and you'd be like, okay, the hell does that mean? Well, you can actually click on it, and if you click on those filters, the first thing it shows you is like, okay, you filter down your search to active participles. So that's what AP means. And it tells you a little bit about it, and you can read more, and then it actually shows you all the active participles. Right now, there's just like 100 words on the website, so 99. So it's not really going to be like a very long list, but in theory it would be. So anyway, yeah, I clicked on nisba, or so-called nisba adjectives, or the adjectives with the E kind of ending. And so it just shows you all of those. Obviously, it's just a couple for now. This is something that you could not do on Wiktionary. I mean, other than like manually putting words into categories, but again, everything in Wiktionary is manual. Whereas here, a lot of things are automated. And for example, this is great for me with regards to recording new words. I have programmed this like list that just automatically generated. It tries to find, like, it finds anything that does not exist on the dictionary but is referred to in the dictionary. So for example, the word into says that there's another form that's inten, which they use in the north, but I haven't made a page for that. So it says, okay, well, you reference this, but there's no page for this, so you need to add it. And then it creates all of that, and then these are the missing audios, and it creates this long list. These are words that don't exist, or sorry, words that exist that don't have audios. And this is inflections, so forms of words like talbe, talbin, from talib, tullab, of course. And yes, there's a difference between talbin and tullab. Anyway, so now I would just be able to literally just copy and paste. Check out how cool it is. So I could just copy and paste this, just go all the way down. Before I had to manually create a list, like by looking at the Wiktionary and cross-referencing and doing everything manually, and it was a huge headache. Now it's like stupid easy. I just come down and I copy all of this, and then I go to the website where we record audios, which is called Lingua Libre. I've actually already done this. Lingua Libre wiki list, I guess. So I've already done what I was about to demonstrate, but I basically just copy that list and paste it here. Not that. Okay, anyway, I paste it there, and then I go to record. I don't record, by the way, I'm myself. It's not my voice, it's my friend's voice. But anyway, so now I would click record. And next, and let's just pretend it's me. And I will record words in South Levantine Arabic, and the list is nouns, which is, well, I guess they are nouns. Or no, they're not all nouns, actually. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then here I would just be like, now it just shows you those words that I've just copied from my dynamic list. And now it's just, I can just be like, talbe. Oh, okay, well, I screwed up. It's kind of funky. But anyway, there's no point in doing it now. So then it just goes down the line, and you would record all of these. And notice there's a lot of work to be done, because this is 124 words, and like the dictionary has 99 words, and these are only inflections. It's because it's a lot of adjectives that had like a feminine and plural form, and many of them have like a comparative form as well. So for one word, you have 3 extra inflections that you have to, up to 3 different inflections that you have to record. So, I mean, you can imagine, like, with only 99 words, this is the amount of inflections that we need to record. And that's not even counting words that don't have audios for the standard form, although I think all of these do. But no, that's not true, because for example, Sahafi, which means journalist, I don't have a recording for that. What else did it say I don't have a recording for? I haven't moved all the audios from that audio folder to the actual website, so some of these do have Let's see. Oh, I'm looking at missing words, missing audios. Muhami, I don't have an audio for that. I know it means lawyer. Falah, I don't have an audio for that. Mughanni, I don't remember, but I think I don't. I might not even have. No, I think I have one for Jahiz. Ma'ul, might not, but I'm not sure. We have recordings for really random words, and then some really important words we don't. Jarrah, I don't have a recording for it. It means surgeon. So anyway, but yeah, as you can see, like this system, like it's taken so much time just creating it. So it seems like I haven't made any okay, I only have 99 words, and there's like almost 3,000 on Wiktionary. Oops. And there's almost 3,000 on Wiktionary. So what's taking me so long? But it's because I've just been building this whole thing for this whole time. So, so yeah, but once I really get into the groove of things, I think it will be pretty fast, actually. I mean, when I actually make a word, it takes like just a few seconds, honestly. Yeah. But like the first, before I even, let's see. Before I even start making more words and recording more audios, I need to be done with this. And that's why I was doing this today, or like the past few days. I need to get all the audios from the Wiktionary and Commons into the website, and then record new words, and then just kind of start a kind of like a phase 2. This was like a kind of an archive of phase 1. These are the 2,800 and something recordings that we had. And now, you know, we'll start a new phase, which like inflections and missing words and everything. But I don't want to waste any term. I don't want to forget, or like, oh, we do have a recording for this, but we don't have a. So I think even what I might do is, instead of just copying them all and moving them all at once, I think I might keep this folder on the side. And then once I create a word, I'll move the audio into the website folder. And then I'll try to basically make a page for all the words that we do have audios for, and then make words that we don't have audios for. And that way, as this audio folder becomes smaller, I know what are the last remaining words that I need to create, so that we have full coverage on my website. Like all the words that were on Wiktionary would now be on the website. And this is kind of my to-do list, basically. There's also a list on Wiktionary itself of like South Levantine Arabic terms. So after I do it this way, because basically I'm trying to answer the question where to begin making words, like what words should I add? It's so overwhelming. I mean, it's so like you can add anything. So like where should I even begin? So I think this is kind of going to be my step 1, is like I've been making these vocab lists for my students, and those are the words that I've been kind of prioritizing. But I'm thinking to then now do these terms, which again are like 2,800 and whatever, and put these on the dictionary, and then look at Wiktionary and go one by one through each page. Because again, I mean, I try to be really meticulous and do everything, you know, and leave no stone unturned. So I'll do all of these, and one by one move the audios into the website folder, so that they are all that I make sure that I did not waste any single audio, and that we used all of them, and that all these words exist. Then go to the Wiktionary and go one by one through each page, because there are a little few stragglers here and there on Wiktionary that don't have audios, or otherwise it'll just give me further inspiration. Then, as I make these words, I will be writing, for example, on the term creator, you can write like synonyms, and you can write like alternative forms, and you write the inflections like plural, singular, whatever. Then the following step would basically be copying that enormous list of inflections. It's going to be huge. It's going to be thousands easily. I mean, again, we have 99 words and 124 inflections to record. So I could imagine, like, you know, if I have 3,000 words in the dictionary, it would be at least 3,000, right? I mean, not all terms have like a plural form or anything, you know, like, I don't know, like adverbs or whatever. It's just one form. But then again, adjectives can have up to 3 inflections, right? And nouns have 2. Well, actually, it depends. Like if it would have feminine and plural or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, it would probably kind of balance itself out and be around 3,000 also. So that's another 3,000 words to record. And that doesn't even get us to like new words that I need to add that don't even exist on Wiktionary. Because y'all know I have this like spreadsheet that I'm not really working on anymore as well, because this is basically my magnum opus basically. But that spreadsheet has a lot of terms on it that are not even on Wiktionary. So I'm just talking about getting the website to have everything that's on Wiktionary, let alone all that's missing on Wiktionary, which is plenty of words. I mean, so there's this work could go on forever, and yet it's only one part of the word, because the website is going to have lessons and it has like activities and things like that. There's all kinds of things, the content. Then there's the programming, which I'm not a programmer, but I've needed to learn, and I have learned. But you know, I'm kind of trying to do all of these things all at once, and you know, giving lessons as well. And it kind of just all goes together, and it's been a lot, but it's really fun and rewarding, honestly, and I really enjoy doing this. But this is why, you know, now imagine me trying to make videos every week in addition to all of this. It's just not possible. I mean, and it's also not desirable, as I said in the beginning. Like, either way, I would like to have something more like where the videos can build off of the website rather than the other way around, which is how it was in the beginning. So I don't know, I guess we kind of ended up doing a little bit of Q&A and just random chat. So no, I'm not still adding words to the Wiktionary. You should add some ads. Yeah, about that, no, I won't. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I don't like ads. My YouTube, I don't know if it has ads. Sometimes they do it without asking. I think I've seen an ad on my video where like I don't get any money from it. I don't know where it came from. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really interested in ads. I to be honest, I don't need to do that. To be honest, my lessons right now, I don't give that many lessons, but I do give lessons, and that's kind of how I support myself, in addition to the Patreon, by the way. You know, funnily enough, I feel kind of bad, honestly. I really need to complain about this, I guess. But like, I mean, I feel bad right now because I've basically unofficially stopped putting things on Patreon completely. It's still there because I want to create a space where people can basically support me and support this work. But if I'm going to be honest, no, in theory, you don't really get anything in return right now. I mean, except for the things that I have put on Patreon in the past. You can access them and you can download that spreadsheet and things like that. But I'm not putting in new stuff. And I really hope that subscribers understand that what you're paying for is this work, because I'm doing this for free, basically. I mean, because other than my lessons, I mean, if I wasn't giving my lessons and the Patreon, which I'm not putting anything onto, I didn't have it, I'm doing all of this for free. I do not get a single penny for it. So, yeah, I mean, in the future, I guess for some time, the website will be some kind of subscription based, where it would be like, maybe you subscribe for the lessons, you know, for the like activities and things like that. But the dictionary would probably be free. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Honestly, I want to make that kind of whatever I decide in terms of the subscriptions and whatever, I want it to be as accessible and cheap as possible, while still being basically enough for me to like put food on the table or put marjanat on the table, basically, which is the only thing I eat. But anyway, so yeah, because my whole goal is for this to be like as accessible as possible, and just I don't want ads. Nobody likes ads. I do not like ads. I will not accept ads, especially not on my website. You will never find an ad on my website. I would rather burn the whole website to the ground. I will not have ads on it. It looks ugly, and I like things to look nice. So that's my answer. Thank you. Sorry, I don't know. Did that sound negative? Like, I'm just kind of joking around. I mean, I just, I don't like ads. But yeah, you're so hopeful. Thank you. Hey, hi, hey everyone. This seems like it would be revolutionary for Amiya learning. I hope so. And honestly, I hope that it would be I don't know, like I mean I'm thinking really long term because I think that I mean are there other things that I could do with my life? The answer is I guess. But I don't know, I'm kind of having fun with this and I'm kind of living a sustainable lifestyle. So I don't really see that much of a reason to like not do this for the next several years, you know. I mean, this is definitely something that if I wanted to, I could make it as big as I want, you know. So there's no like necessarily an end in sight, and I think people will continue to benefit from these things, and I have fun with it. And honestly, at the end of the like at the very end, I've thought about doing a doctorate, and I could use this kind of work that I've done to be like a starting off point for some research questions. I mean, there's a million things I could do. So for the foreseeable future, I'm working on this. And, you know, I am thinking that it could even somehow, in like the super long term, expand into other dialects in some way. Perhaps not on this particular website, but like it could be a kind of like the website could be like an open source repository like on GitHub or something, and then someone could clone it and then like clear the database and clear the audios or whatever. I mean, basically like delete the actual Palestinian Arabic content, but then fill its like in its place put like Egyptian Arabic or put like Moroccan or, you know, like Maghrebi Arabic or something like that, but use the site framework and like, you know, the way that everything is basically set up, so it's just like this kind of blank slate that you could build, and then it would be like a clone of my website for another dialect. I would be super happy with that. I don't think, when I say clone, I don't even mean in a bad way. I just mean like, you know, I think it would be super neat. Like it would be, because I'm putting a lot of work onto my website so that it is like a practical and useful resource. So if that could exist for other dialects as well, I think that would be fantastic. And I have tons of other ideas similar to that I don't know how, I mean, it's not that they're not realistic, but it's just that with my current programming knowledge, they're not realistic. But, you know, I definitely have, like with regards to different dialects, I have ideas about like, you know, I could expand into, well, obviously Jordanian Arabic is basically like Palestinian, but also add some Syrian and Lebanese, and then I would have to find a way to kind of mark it that way. And, but I was thinking like, because you would have a user, maybe in your user profile, you can kind of set up like a custom dialect. And you can say like, okay, I want my dialect to be from this region, and I want my dialect to have these particular features or whatever, like, you know, rural or I don't know, whatever. And so you could kind of set up a custom dialect based on research, right? Like, you know, like you can with relative accuracy, like say, you know, based on someone's speech, okay, this person is probably from this area or whatever. So you could kind of pinpoint the kind of target dialect that you want to learn, and the website's data would kind of dynamically like feed you that particular data. So for example, like let's say, I don't know, the word madrasa or madrase, it can be pronounced madrase, madrasa, and madrasi. If you're from the north, they say that tamarbuta like e. So if you say, okay, I want to sound like I'm from Nazareth, or I want to sound like northern Palestine, right? So the website would take all of the northern Palestinian marked pronunciations and terms and whatever, and use those as the canonical form. Right now, the canonical form, like the official form of words, is the Central Palestinian, which is like the Jerusalem dialect, basically. So when you search for a word, it says like, where is it? Madrase, for example. You see, it shows you madrase like this, and actually here it should show all three pronunciations anyway, but the first one is madrase. But instead, if you've chosen a different dialect, it would, like all of these forms, it would show madrasi, 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 and it would be the first one, and then other forms are listed below. And instead of like, on the lessons, instead of saying into means you plural, it would say inten or whatever. Because it knows that that's the dialect that you're trying to learn. I'm sure there's ways to do this. I just don't really. I mean, I don't even think it would be necessarily the hardest thing in the world. Kind of depends on what parts of it, but obviously it's way down the line in terms of lists or in terms of things that I need to do. And right now, what I need to do is just check these audios. But I want to see if there's any more questions or anything else. Thank you for all of your amazingly helpful videos. They are the best. Thank you so much. I don't even think that they're that good, to be honest. That's why I'm working on the site, so that I can make actually better videos. I really like the ones that I made like back in May and June. I kind of was trying to use a new sort of design and animation style and things like that, and I really like how they turned out. But basically, because of my focus on the website, I've toned it down, which means that a lot of the videos that are there are from like years ago at this point. Well, I mean like 2 years ago or last year. And they're just kind of like, meh. They're really, I mean, I'm happy with them, but I actually think I can do an even way better job right now. But I'm kind of sort of, trying to keep my focus. So get excited, I guess, because in the future, the videos will be better, I hope, and there will be all kinds of more content. I promise, even though I haven't been putting a lot of stuff on YouTube lately, it's coming, and I'm working hard, as you can see, like day and night. So thoughts on mass immersion approach to learning languages along with grammar and vocabulary. Don't forget to make backups to your database just in case. You never know what could happen. Yeah, I wish I knew what that meant and how to do that. I think, well, because the thing is, I don't really know that much about programming. By the way, coding is not the same as like managing a server or doing all that stuff. So I don't know. I think my server provider or server management thing, which is Laravel Forge, I think they probably have a backup of the database on its own. I guess. I don't really know, honestly. Like, I also never know what could happen, but I don't know. I mean, I'm using DigitalOcean and Laravel Forge, and I mean, I find them pretty trustworthy, I would say. So I'm kind of crossing my fingers, but you're right. That's the problem. Like, as much as programming is interesting, I don't think it's really gonna end up being like my future career or anything. So sometimes I do wonder if I should just pay someone to do it. And take care of these things for me, but then I can't make it as customized as I would want. So I don't know. Like, I need to make like an email system so that it sends you an email when you create an account and stuff like that. And I don't know how to do that, and I'm kind of figuring it out, but at the same time I'm trying to do this dictionary and having lessons and preparing the material for the lessons, so it's kind of like I don't have time to do that. And so sometimes these really important questions do not get answered, and that's a little bit troubling. So it's something I have to sit with and figure out. But anyway, I'm just kind of trying to take things one step at a time. Now, about mass immersion approach. I think that it is the best way to learn a language, by far. And that's pretty much supported by all the, well, I shouldn't actually be on this page. That's pretty much supported by all of the existing literature on second language acquisition, that the best way to learn a language, or like the most useful thing for learning a language, or acquiring a language, let's say, is actually input, not even output. Like, actually, the research shows that output exercises, like having your students say things, or like, give them a sentence in English or whatever, and they try to say it in Arabic, this is not helpful, actually. like it, or very little, if at all. Like if you do it in the right way, it will be a little bit helpful, but not as much as input and processing input, and like having students process input. And that's pretty much what you do constantly if you're in a setting where you're receiving input all the time. In fact, like actual kind of structured courses, like language courses, are often the complete opposite, where a lot of emphasis is put on output and students have to do all kinds of activities. So there's like formal grammar instruction. So like the teacher stand up and said, okay, this is how you say this particular thing, like, I don't know, how to use direct objects or something like that in any language. And then the students have to do like exercises where they create sentences like that. This is basically completely useless, according to the literature. The formal instruction should be very minimal, which is a mistake, or is something that I do. I mean, because I'm interested in this kind of thing, in like the theory of it, so I like to talk about it. And also, I need to make activities. And lacking activities, I end up talking about the topic. But I need to create more activities where it's based on input and the students have to interpret the input. So not even translation, but there's a million different ways. But I don't want to get into that right now, unless you're interested. I mean, it's actually really interesting. But just to go back to the question itself about mass immersion, yeah, I mean, when you're immersed, you're constantly trying to interpret and understand what someone is saying. And it's like, think about it as a muscle. Basically, acquiring a language, or when you can say that I speak a language or I can understand a language, it's when your processing time is basically reduced to like a negligible amount. I mean, when someone speaks English to me or Spanish to me, I don't have to process. It just enters my brain immediately as having meaning. Like, I don't have to think about it at all. It just immediately has meaning. Even with Arabic for me, it kind of doesn't immediately have meaning. I mean, I don't have to like focus. Like, it's kind of in between. It's really right there, like where it like has meaning, but it's still is not my native language, you know? So I don't know how to explain, but it's not quite instantaneous, but I don't have to like focus, you know, or like, I don't know, like work out everything in my head, which is what happens in the beginning when you're learning a language, right? So you may know the words and the sentence may even be intelligible if you write it down, but it's, when someone says it, it might be too fast for you to really do all that math, that like linguistic math in your head. So it's all about reducing that time, and you know, if you're constantly in a place where people are speaking that language to you, it's like a muscle. You know, you're gonna work it out, and it's going to be much more efficient with time. And I think I just kind of realized something. This kind of explains why I benefited so much from actually learning by texting people. Like, because y'all know, or maybe you don't, but Palestinian Arabic is not my native language. So when I learned it, I was, I mean, in the beginning, I was very little talking to people. I would mostly speak to people in English and try to use Arabic as much as possible, but it was usually slow and clumsy. But I became quite good at understanding it, even when my speech was kind of stumbling, because I texted people and I could take my time writing. So I didn't like slow them down. I didn't really slow the conversation down that much, because I could take my time writing, you know, and, you know, text conversation is not like immediate in the way that a speech conversation is. And then every time that input came in, like a message in Arabic, written in Arabic, I could take my time and understand and try to process what that person is saying. Whereas like in speech, if you don't get it, you don't get it. There's no real like, you know, second chance, basically. This is kind of wonkily, or no, it's not actually. So you don't get a second chance when you're actually speaking to someone, unless like in a class, for example, they may play the recording twice or something. But in writing, you can take all the time you need, and over time that builds up and that helps. Um, but that's why like I would say I was pretty good in Arabic, but even like before I came back this year, my speech was not really what it is now because I just wasn't really talking to people. So obviously you do get better speaking when you're like, actually using it. Um, but I think that starting by actually writing and exchanging written messages with people, I think that's really helpful actually. Um, but yeah, but immersion is for sure key, honestly. I mean, obviously not everyone has the chance to be in the place, but again, if you can at least exchange written messages with like just at least a few people on a regular basis, this is really effective, actually, I think. And I mean, it's not like there's been research on how much texting people helps, but it seems to go hand in hand with the second language acquisition research, which is about the importance of input and meaningful input, and like relevant situational contextual input. So yeah, I think that's a kind of thing that you can do even if you're not in the place where the language is spoken. Another quick example with regards to Armenian and Persian, which are other languages that I am familiar with. Persian I learned for a year plus, plus I took like this intensive thing. But it was all sort of like academic or like, in a classroom kind of learning. And now I don't really feel confident speaking it at all. Like I would have to do this like mental math to like, okay, and then this is the conjugation for this, and then kind of work it out in my head. And that doesn't work. I mean, that's not how language is spoken. Whereas Armenian, now I'm a little bit out of practice because last time I was there was in May, and that was just for like 2 weeks. So I haven't lived there since January, basically. But even so, I feel like I could just easily like, okay, just start chatting with someone. Of course, I need to get a little bit back into the groove, but that's how I learned Armenian. I did not learn any Armenian in the classroom whatsoever. All of it was texting people and basically as much as I could having little conversations with people, which at the beginning were really dumb conversations, but with time they became a little bit more substantial, not to the level of like, okay, we're having this interesting conversation about Nicole Pashinyan, but like, I mean, something, So yeah, and this is even though I didn't learn Armenian at all in a classroom whatsoever, and with pretty much no help at all, versus Persian, which I feel like I could not really speak, but I mean, I could kind of read it. I mean, I know what's going on. I mean, and I actually learned a lot of vocabulary. I know I have more Persian vocabulary than Armenian vocabulary, but my Armenian is more natural versus my Persian, which is like very robotic. And that's what happens when with all these like output activities and this academic style of learning a language, it's going to be like you're going to be producing or like imitating the language in this kind of robotic way, but it's not going to come out naturally. And you're going to have to do a lot of thinking both to produce and to receive input. But input processing type of activities and learning, focusing on actual language acquisition is not about producing language in this kind of fake way, but by actually reducing the processing time between what someone says and you understanding it, and also basically having an idea and producing the language to convey that idea. So I hope that that long answer was somehow helpful. Let's see what else is here. Yeah, the grammar explanations in your video have clarified brilliantly lots of points I've struggled to understand for years. Well, I'm really glad. Interesting. Might have to reinstall Hello Talk then. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I never really made use of those sites. I guess because usually I'm just kind of actually. I mean, I personally don't try to focus on more than one language at once. But that's also partially because it's been literally years since I've lived somewhere where my native language was spoken. Like it's been years since I lived since I was in since I was in university in the USA, where obviously it's native English speakers. That was years ago, and last time I was in Colombia was almost 3 years ago, by the way, which is a long time. I cannot believe that. But yeah, so I'm here in Palestine, and then I was in Armenia. So like obviously I was here. I'm all my work is about Arabic and everything, so I'm just completely immersed in Arabic right now, and that's kind of like all I'm doing. And so obviously I don't need those apps because I'm just kind of around people. And then when I was in Armenia, obviously I was also just kind of laser focused on like just doing as much as I could to learn Armenian because I wanted to, and it was fun. So but like probably, I mean, I'm probably gonna go to Colombia like in March or something. More on that at some other point. But anyway, while I'm there, I could see myself, since my like mind is not going to be occupied with learning any particular language because I won't be like it's my native language. I would probably use those apps to maybe work on a language that I haven't in a while, like maybe. Or maybe I would try, to get back into Persian and actually try to speak to people, which I never actually had a chance to do. I've thought about maybe dipping back into Japanese just for fun. So yeah, there's lots of options. Anyway, so yeah, where are we? I think cool. I mean, I think, honestly, I do have to do this. I do have work to do, so I'm gonna start doing that now, basically, because I think I've mentioned everything that I was gonna mention. I mean, I've been talking for like 50 minutes without doing any work. So I think I'm gonna do that now, and you guys can follow along or hang out, and I'll just kind of mention some random things along the way, as they come to mind, or, I don't know. I might ask you questions because, to be honest, I have I don't have all the answers, actually. Some of these things stump me also, so I think I'll do maybe an hour of this. Depends on how much time it takes to get through the rest of the audios, because then I want to go to the gym. Okay, so where were we? Oh no, are you going to be able to hear the computer audio? I'm not sure. Well, someone let me know if you can or you can't in the comments. So let's see, where I was around here.
مطرح مثل.
See, for example, I need to change this because I thought he would say matal, but he said mathal, so let me change that. Mathal, to act.
مطعم موضوع موجود مول موقف مايع microwave.
I never know how to transliterate these foreign words, because Arabic words have patterns that they follow. So, and they only have like, their particular. There's a vowel system for Arabic, but like these foreign words, like there's V sounds which don't exist in Arabic. So I'm like, it's not really a consonant that exists in Arabic, but I don't even know. Like when it comes to the phonemes, this is like linguistic stuff now, but when it comes to the phonemic representation, I guess it's with a V, even though that phoneme doesn't even really, I mean, I guess it exists if they say it for, I don't really know that much, like how like phonemes and all that, like how to deal with that when it comes to foreign words. But I mean, I guess I will just say that the phoneme is V. This is not the phonemic representation, but it's somehow related to it, or like it's somehow based on it. Microwave. Depending on sometimes, like, because long vowels are shortened, like, how should I put it? Like, for example, this first A, I wrote it as being long, but it's actually pronounced as short because the long one is at the end, or like the last long vowel is the one that's actually pronounced as long. So you would say, well, in theory, this U right here could be either a long U or a short U, like originally. It could be a long U that was shortened or just a short U. So which one is it? And it depends actually on a very subtle difference in the quality of the U. Because a long U is U, and when it's shortened, it's U. But a short U is actually not pronounced as U at all. It's actually or something around that area. Like it's basically a slightly less tense U, so it's not U. For example, shughul or kutub, it's not kutub or shughul, it's shughul and kutub. So the short U would sound like that, and a long U that is shortened would sound like U. For example, fasolia. So fasolia, or I lied, that's just a long U actually, fasolia, but I just said it quickly. Right? Yeah. But anyway, in this case, it seems like he says microwave, mish micro. It's, I don't know, I feel like it's not tense enough. So that tells me that I guess it's a short U phonemically. Again, this is not necessarily the phonemic representation, but I tried to keep it close. So yeah, again, it's a foreign word, so it kind of doesn't matter that much. But interesting point about short versus long vowels. Okay,
My.
Oh, wow.
My.
You know, it's weird because the word my is like strange in that the M seems to be kind of pharyngalized or like pronounced similar to the letters like da, da, and it kind of changes the quality of the A. So I and everyone that I know pronounces this as my, mish mai, but this guy says my. My. That's so weird, actually. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's normal in some dialects. I guess it must be. But everyone I know says my with like this darker sound. So, yeah, sometimes like because I had many different speakers record audios, I often find things that I did not expect. Like, I asked this guy to record words, and he also said madrasa, or I don't know if that word specifically, but he ended the tamarbuta, he pronounced it as a all the time. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I wasn't expecting that, but sure. So life is, or recording audios is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. So mai, apparently.
My. ميز. Mayo.
Mayo. That's another foreign word, and it ends in a long vowel, which is rare, if not impossible, kind of, in the dialect. But it's not clear, because there's some words like salah and haya, and there was another one that I forgot. Also, yeah, and it's kind of like, I don't really know why those end in long vowels. There's tamarbuta at the end, but usually, well, there's like this theory that all final vowels in I don't know if in general in spoken Arabic, but at least in Palestinian Arabic, are by default long, but they are shortened when in final position, and that's why when you add something after, they are no longer shortened, so they are realized in their original form, which is long. So, for example, katabu, they wrote, is originally a long final u, but because it's final, it's shortened. But when you add something after it, it returns to its original state as being long, like ma katabush, rather than ma katabush or something. So katabu, ma katabush. And when the thing that you add at the end is the suffix or the suffix or whatever for him, like they wrote it, that H, which normally is like O, like for example, katabo, like he wrote it, when it's after a vowel, it's silent. But because there's something after that final vowel, it's no longer final, and so it's lengthened again, or It's not shortened, basically. So the only difference between they wrote and they wrote it is the length of that vowel, which in one case is final and therefore shortened, and in the other case it's not final and therefore as it should be long. So katabu, they wrote. Katabu, they wrote it. So yeah, so haya, which ends in a long A, and salah, also same thing. These are rare and strange words in that they end in that way. Yeah. And I think there's another one, but I can't remember what it was. Mayo, I mean, whatever. It's just a foreign word, so it kind of, after all, it's French. Mayo, literally. So I guess they just pronounce it like that. Okay, where were we?
مزح مزاج مظبوط مزع مقهى مأكولات بحرية.
Okay, let's see, what is everyone? My computer screen is frozen. Ma'ul? Wait, is my computer screen still frozen? I think the ha in ale is also silent. It is exactly. Basically, whenever there's a final, whenever the suffix for him is on a vowel, like a final vowel, it's just silent. So ala, ale. Yeah, because the alif maksura, when you add something after, it turns into basically a yeah. But again, the H is silent, so Ale, exactly. I don't know. Can anyone tell me if my screen is still frozen? Okay, well, we're doing our best. Where are we? مأكولات.
مأكولات مقلى
Okay.
مع السلامة مع معبد معكرونة معلقة معلش.
Okay.
معلوم معلومات معنى معرفة معروف معقول مبلى مبارح مفرز مفزلك مغيم.
Do you guys know what all these words mean?
محمد ميدان مكواي.
What?
مكواي
Okay. Mikwai.
مكياج من دون من مين مينا من شان مرض.
By the way, Mina and other words like that in Fusha they end in Hamze, like Sama and Shuttani, Sama and Masa. Hamza in general, in many particular situations, it's removed in the dialect. So those words, instead of being sama, they would just be sama. But now that the long vowel is just final because there's no hamza after it, it becomes shortened. So that's why words like masa are just masa, sama, sama, shita, shita. Yeah. So not only that the final vowel is shortened because the hamza is removed, but then because of that, the stress shifts to the first syllable. So instead of shita, it's shita, and so on. So it's kind of a related point. Do I have an answer yet? I'm still frozen. Why? Oh no. Really? Oh yeah, you're right, aren't you? Oh, I don't know how to fix that. I'm gonna fix it right now. I'm gonna fix it right now, and y'all are gonna be amazed at how quickly and efficiently I did it. I'm gonna fix it. Okay, you're probably seeing a bunch of weird stuff right now, but don't worry about it. Now I just need to change this. 38454. 38384. I'm sure that there's an even better way to do this, but I am not an OBS expert, so I'm just kind of doing it the brute force way, 1440 and 900. I think we're back, right? I think I fixed it, right? I seem to have fixed it. But there's a delay. So give it a sec. I don't know, I'm just gonna keep going. Okay, someone let me know.
مينا من شان مرد مرتاح
Okay.
مش عارفة مش عارف امتى آخر مرة سمعت هالجملة.
Okay.
مش مسك
Music.
مش
مستوي
مشوار
متدين
Oh, see that. Okay. Wow.
متدين
Really? Okay. Well. All right. That's a completely like standard Arabic way of pronouncing this word. But no, I think I've definitely heard middayinin, which is or middayin, which is how I spelt it, because that's what I thought this recording was of. But he said it like mutadayin, which is how it's like the standard Arabic pronunciation versus middayin, which would be the dialect version. But I don't know. Sometimes both, like sometimes I don't know. Like you may indeed pronounce it in the standard Arabic way, in a particular speech context, because the same word just pronounced slightly differently. I don't know. I'll have to double check with someone just to confirm for sure, or like I mean, because it seems like, you know, if it's possible to say middayin, then I would add that pronunciation. But maybe it's not. Maybe that's in my head. Does anyone know? I thought that middayin, yani, I don't know why, but I don't know. Sometimes they see the word, sometimes people like, you know, you see the word written in the recording software, so you kind of want to read it, and when you read Arabic, it's usually going to be standard Arabic. So like a lot of times they said like, oh, I accidentally said it the standard Arabic way, or like whatever, because it just is what came to mind initially. So I don't know. I may be wrong, but I don't know. Let's see. Has anyone? Middain is how my right? Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think that happens a lot, right? Sometimes I feel like they're gaslighting me. I'm like, mutadayin, really? I don't know. So I double check these things like and triple and quadruple check things. So I will have an answer at some point. But it seems to be if you are, according to Ginny as well, that seems to be that middayin is fine. Okay, مشوار
مثل مثلي متر متحد متواضع متأكد
متأسف.
By the way, all these mit, this is what like mutadayyin would have sounded like, right? So متواضع would be متواضع, متأكد متأكد, متأسف متأسف. But the dialect kind of simplifies things, for lack of a better word, into like one initial syllable, mit. Anyway, so
متأسف.
متأكد
okay.
متأخر
متعود مختلف مية مية ميزان مقلاية
Oh,
مقلاية
it's مقلاية. What? Okay. معقول? Okay. I'm writing what I'm hearing, right? But when I actually create the word in the dictionary, I will do some additional checks on different things. I think I've also heard mitlaye rather than matlaye. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, but you know, actually so I was talking about the mit, right? متأكد, متأسف, متأخر. But the suffix or I was talking what? No, the prefix that creates active and passive participles for all forms except form one. It's so in Fusha it's mu. In the dialect it seems like it's mi, but that's not quite it. It's actually just the letter M. And then when necessary, a vowel is filled in after it. So if you look at the word متأكد, if I didn't have that I, it would be MT hums. It's too much. It's like a bunch of consonants back to back, and it's hard to pronounce. So this epenthetic I or epenthic, what? I don't even know. It's inserted to make it easier to pronounce, basically, but it's inserted into what is originally this, like phonemically. And that's why when it's not necessary, you get مفزلك, مغيم, محمد, not امبارح. Well, I guess it could actually be interpreted as if it was a form 3 active participle. But I mean, actually, yeah. Anyway, مفزلك, مغيم. So I would say that the suffix is actually just and then the vowel is optionally inserted. Where did someone? Okay, it seems like it's unfrozen. So anyway, la 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 la. Okay.
متأخر
متعود مختلف مية مية ميزان معدة معتبر مجمد مجمد مجعلك مكتش مكورن ملحلح
منيح
موج موجة مول موت موز مرشح مرشح مرستق مرتب مراية مريح مريض مسكر مشمس مشوب مطلط امتنع مطلط مطلط
Okay.
امتنع
مباشر
موبيليا.
See, I think the first U is long phonemically rather than short because otherwise it would be like mobilia instead of mobilia. It seems like quite tense, so that's how I make a determination about that. Obviously, it's not something that really is important for most people, but the dictionary tries to be somewhere kind of a sweet spot between practical, but then there's also kind of very technical information available for people who want to do research or whatever. I'm not like, I don't have a PhD or anything like that. So it is just my opinion, which may be wrong about some things, but I think it's a good, helpful kind of starting point, and the audios will be there, so actual researchers can make their own decisions, and and everything is like accessible. So I'm hoping that this will have several uses. So yeah.
موبيليا
مدة
مدير
مضرب مفتاح.
By the way, mudir, mudrib, these are form 4 participles, and they actually have mu. And that's, I guess, because in the first place, form 4 is, I would say that it's not natively existent in the dialect, and all terms that are form 4 in the dialect are learned borrowing, so to speak. And I think that kind of sort of dovetails with the fact that all form 4 active participles in the dialect, to the extent that they exist, are pronounced with an initial mu rather than the expected just imdir, I guess it would have been, right? It sounds kind of weird, but I mean, you would have expected perhaps some kind of change, like mubashir matalan, like this is not form 4, but it's pronounced with the initial mu because it's learned borrowing. So I don't know. I guess I would say that mudir and mudrib and yeah, and these kinds of words are all just immediately sort of learned borrowings. What was I going to say? Yeah, so this is from أضرب, which is to go on strike, and it's form 4. So this is a person on strike. But yeah, anyway.
مضرب مفتاح محاضرة مهم محيط محترم
مجاملة مجتمع ملحد
ممل
Also form 4.
ممل
Is that form? Okay.
ممكن منبه
Also form 4 actually, I guess.
منبه منافق منوم منخار مربع مريح
It's interesting because I have murabba,
مربع
and I was listening to this word several times because I'm not sure if I hear mtallat or mutallat with a U. This would be a learned borrowing because of this U, I would say. But this, well, first of all, the fact that it's pronounced as T's rather than th, muthallath, or musallath, I guess, makes me feel like, well, it's an inherited term. But why would triangle, which is what this means, why would this be inherited and this would be a learned borrowing? But I think that I talked to him about it like months ago when he first recorded it, and I think he was like, well, I don't know, you could actually say it more than one way. So I will, as I said, once I create the word, I'll just return to this and re-consult. But for now,
مطلت
it's
مطلت
I think it's مطلت. Anyway, murab versus murabba.
مربع مريح
Mudir, form 4.
مسجل مسجل
This seems to be musajjal, right? Not musajjal. Let's see, where are we, friends? Yeah. Okay.
مسلسل مصر مشكلة
مسلم
مسمار مستحيل مستنقع مشترك مشترك مستشفى مستطيل
Mustatil means rectangle, also mu. Now we're looking at all these mu words, and these are all basically learned borrowings. Most of them. In musir, this is form 4. Form 4. This is not. Just happens to be that way. No, I mean, this is form 10, but I mean, mustanqa, you hear the qa, totally learned borrowing. Mushtarak, yeah.
مستوطنة مستوطن
مستقبل
متدين
موظف مختار مخ مزعج معدي موحد معدي موحد مخدة مقدس مقفل
معجنة
Okay.
معجنة
معلم
So I was thinking about something. معلم.
معين معقد نبات نباتي
نبة نابلس
نبتة
نادى نظف
نظارات شمسية نظارات نادي نادر
نادرا
ندمان نفى
نفس
نفخ نفع نفس
نفس نهدي نحال نحل نهر الأردن
نهر ناك نكر
نكهة
نكت نام
نميمة
نمل
نم ناموس ناقة
ناقش نرفز
ناس
ناسب نصح نشر
نشاط نصحان ناشف ناصح نشيط
ناشط
نصراني
نشف
نشافة
نطح
نتأ
نطق
نط
ناوي
نوم نايم نيم نازل
نزلة
Oh,
نزلة
nazale. You know, I love hearing these words back to back. I don't know why. I just enjoy it a lot for some reason. Like hearing the little differences between
نتأ
نطق
nata, nata. I don't know. I don't know why, but I like listening to them. Nazil, nazale, apparently. Um, yeah, okay.
نزل نظم نقل نقز نقى نقص نقز
نعيما
نعنع
نعسان انبل انبسط انباع
نبيد
اندمج انضم
ني
انفضح انفجر انفك انفصل انفتح انغلى انحبس
انحب
انحكى انحل
انحنى
نهار
انحرج انحرق
نحاس
انحاز
نحيف
ندم
نغش
نهاية نهاية نجح
نكد نمر نمتي منيح نسبة
نسي نشف نصح
نسر نتفة
نزل نعس
انجن
انجرح انجاص انكب انكتب انمسك النقب الناصرة نوم
نومة انصدم
انشاف انشفى انشغل انسحب انشهر انسجن
انصلب
انسرق
نسيب
انتبه انتفخ انتحر انتاك انتمى انتشر انتصر انتخب انتقل نمرة نور
نص الليل نص نصاني نسخة
انولد انزاد
نسخة
انولد انزاد انذار انزعج انقال انقطع انأذى انعدى انعمى انعمل
قدم قناة
Oh, qana is another word that ends in like a long vowel. Qana, like salah and haya. They all end in tamarbuta, and I wonder if that somehow has to do with like why. Because yani no, like in the construct form, it's always going to be qanat something or qanat ishi. So I guess if that T becomes silent, then it's kind of similar to how you have like, I don't know, like katabu versus katabu. So there's kind of like something hidden that is making that final vowel not be final anymore. And so maybe the tamarbuta is having the same effect, basically. But like phonemically, what is the tamarbuta? Like it's an e, but like then if you wrote that phonemically, you would have like haya and then like an e at the end, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Because it's not even a consonant. So if it was a T, as it is in the construct form, qanat, then that makes sense that it would still be long. Maybe by analogy it remains long in the lemma form, but I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that. We tried to talk about it in the Discord, but we couldn't really come up with a good answer for it. It seems to be still again? Your camera is there and but the screen is still stuck. I really don't know why it does that. And you know what? You're right. I'm looking at this right now. I don't know why it continues to do that. I mean, I can fix this basically by brute force again. But I need to find out what's the real solution for this. There, I did it, but I mean, it's not the best solution. Okay, I guess, I think I kind of fixed it temporarily. Okay, where were we? Oh, where were we? Oh, قناة.
قناة. قرض.
قارن.
قرار.
قرر.
Oh,
قرر.
okay, interesting.
قرية.
قاوم.
قرش. قطار.
قطاع غزة.
قطعة.
اقتحم. اقترح.
قبرص.
قبرص or Obros.
ربط. ربط. ربى.
ربيع. رابع.
رادف. رد.
راديو.
رفض. رفع.
راح.
راح.
راحة.
رحل.
رحب. رهيب.
راجع. راجع. رجع.
رجعة.
ركد. ركد.
Interesting. It's kind of just a D, isn't it? Rakad, not raqad.
ركد.
I mean, I'm gonna leave it. Interesting. Did I notice that before in this recording? Maybe I should respell the word with just the D, which is what I did with daya, which is just daya, basically for most people. Well, in the urban accent. But again, not really what I'm concerned about with right now. I just want to make sure that there's no outright mistake or like it's a different word or whatever. Let's see. Oh, now stuff is moving. Okay, good. Okay.
ركن. ركع. ركب. ركز.
رام الله مدينة.
رام الله. رمى.
Oh, see, these I want these to be the same, right? So, no, I will leave it long. I mean, because that's how it is originally.
رمى. رمش.
رمل.
رمم. رمش.
رمزور.
رن.
راس.
رشح. رسم.
رشح. رصيف.
رش. رشح.
راتب.
رتب. روح. روج.
روق.
رخص. رايح. ريح.
رقبة. رقبة القنينة.
رأس.
رأي. رئيسي. رفيع. رغيف.
ربح.
ريح.
ريحة. ريحان.
رحلة.
رجع.
رجال. رجل.
ركب.
By the way, there's a couple of words that that are actually like more, or I actually had more than one recording for them, but I deleted one because it turns out that, like, I mean, basically I'm naming them in this way so that the dictionary will automatically pull the right recording from this database or from this file or folder based on the transliteration. But more than one word may have the same transliteration, and I guess all of the time, maybe not all of the time, but I guess off the top of my head, all of the time, they would actually have the same pronunciation. So it's actually okay to use one recording for two things. So in particular, riha means either smell or it's shortened from Ariha, which it means Jericho. So these are two completely different words, but they're both pronounced Riha. So you could play this audio for someone and they really wouldn't know which one it is because it's exactly the same. Likewise, yesterday I was looking at Nhar. Nhar can either mean the daytime, spelled Noon, H-A-R, Nhar, or it can actually be, again, Nhar, same word, but spelled Alif, Noon, Ha, Alif, Ra. So it looks like it says Inhar, right? But the first one is like epenthetic, so it's just a part of the verb form. It's a verb, and it means to collapse. So that's a verb, and they're actually even spelled differently, but they have the exact same pronunciation, Nhar, because that epenthetic alif thing from the verb, it's not actually really pronounced unless necessary. But like if you just say the word by itself, Nhar, khalas, yani, so it sounds the same as daytime, which is spelled differently. But I will just use one audio for both of them because they are the same. So anyway.
ركب.
And as a matter of fact, Nhar meaning daytime would also have it's not written with an empathetic vowel, but it would have it, yani, depending on the speaker. So, or it could. So, they are maybe orthographically, like in terms of how people spell them, they are different, but phonemically they are actually the same. Anyway.
ركب.
Wait, was that where it was though?
رحلة.
رجع.
رجال. رجل.
ركب.
رئة. روح. روحة.
ارتاح. ارتكب.
رأي.
ارتاح. ارتكب.
ربع. ركبة. روماني. رومانيا. رمش.
رز.
رخيص. رياضة. رقيق.
ساب.
شباب.
سبح.
صباحية.
شبك.
Do you pronounce this in such a strange way?
صباحية.
Okay.
شبك.
صبر.
صبايا.
سبق. سابق.
17.
سب.
شب.
صب. سبب.
صبي.
صبية.
سابع. صبر.
سبسب.
صابون. صابونة. صبور.
7.
شبعان.
70. صاد. سادة. صدام.
صدر. شد.
صدى.
شدد.
سدادة.
صدر. صدق. شد.
صديق.
صديقة. سادس.
شاف. شفى.
صفد. صفن.
سافر.
شاف.
صف.
سفينة. سفينة فضاء. صفرة. صفطة.
شغل. شغل.
شغال. شغيل. شغلة.
صاح. سحب. صاحب. شاهد. سحل. شحن.
صاحبة. صح.
شهى. صحى.
سحاب. شحاد. سهل.
سحل.
سهر. شحاطة. صاحي. صاحب البيت.
صاحب.
شاهد. شاحن. شهية.
صحن.
شهر.
صحراء.
سهران. سجن.
شجر. شجرة.
سجل. شجع. شكى. سكن.
سكني.
شكر. سكت. ساكن.
ساكت.
شك. شكل. سكر.
سكس.
سكران.
شكوش.
شال. صلاة. شلح. سلك.
سلام. سلامة.
سلخ. سلق.
صالح.
شلفة.
شلفقة. صليب.
سلة. صلى.
صلب.
صلح. سلم.
سلة. سلة زبالة. صالون
صام
سما
سمح سامح
سمك سمكة شمال شمعدان
سامع شم سمى
صمم
صمم شم صمم شمس
شمس شمسية شمع شمعة صندوق
سنة
شنطة سنتي
صار شرى شراب
شرد
شراب
شرد
صرف
سرح
شرح
صراحة
شارك صرخ سرق
صارع سريع شارع شركس شركسي شرشف صفصور شرق شرعي شطف شطرنج
شتات
سطح
شاطر
شطرنج
شطرنج. شطرنج. Oh, it's long.
شتات
سطح
شاطر
شتى
شطف
سطح
شتل
شتت
سوا
سوى شوب صور صوت سوى سخن
شخص
شخصية
شخص
شخصية شخور
شخ سخن
شخر
شاي
صيدلي صيدلية
شايف صاير شيك
سيارة
شيش ساء سأل سقط
سقف شقة سقط
ساعة
ساعد شعب
صعب سعيد صعب
This one seems like Saib, like but I've also heard Saib with a more of a kasra. I think this is though.
صعب
Saib. Oh.
سعيد شاعر
شعل شعب
صعب سعيد
Saib. Saib.
شاعر
شعل
سباتي صيف شيكل سير
شبه
Oh.
شبه
شيكل سير
شبع
سيد
شدة
صدر شفة
شفي صحي سهر
سهل صهر
سكر
سكينة
شكل سلف سلفة شلة سلسلة سلسلة جبال
سمن سمع
صينية سن شراع
How are y'all doing? Can you tell me how to access this dictionary, please? Yes, yes. That's my website. Yeah, I mean, the dictionary just has like 100 words right now, because I was working initially on Wiktionary, where there's like 3,000 words or so, probably. And the dictionary that I'm making is for my website, and I'm bringing in all of those. Here I'm working right now on those recordings, so that all the recordings and all the information on Wiktionary can be on my website. But that will take a few months still to be finished. But the website is there; it's accessible technically. So yeah, take a look. Anyway,
سن شراع سيرة
شرب
شركة
سر سري سرية سشوار شتاء ست
16 6
ستين ستيان سعر شعرية سكملة سلوفاكيا سلوفينيا
شمال
سمر شوب
شوبان
okay. Chauban apparently.
شوب صوفة شوفة
شوفير
شوك
شوكة
صوم
شوربة
صوت الشباب الشاطرين
السبت
الصليب الأحمر الشام الصين السعودية استضاف
استفاد
استفز
استفسر
اشتغل استغل
استغنى
استغرب
استحى استاهل
استحق
استحلى
استجوب
استلذ
استلطف
استمر
استنظف
استنى
استقال
استقل
استراح
اشترك
استرخى
استشار
استشهد
استسلم
استصعب
استثمر استوى استورد استوطن
استخف استخدم اشتاق
استقل
استقبل استأجر
استعار
استعجل استعمل
استعمر
استعمل
استراحة
شو
استراحة
شو
شباك
صبح.
Does someone know about this? I'm having this weird confusion. I need to check something. Yeah, okay, so I'm not really sure about like standard Arabic that much in terms of certain things. So the verbal nouns of forms, let's see, forms, what am I talking about? Forms 7, 8, and 10, no, and 9, I guess also. They all start with this, but it is not a hamza. Now, I don't know if it is phonemically a hamza and it's just not written that way, or what's the deal. But I'm curious to know. Now, form 4, it does have a hamza. So, for example, I don't know, Islam is a form 4 active participle, actually, and it starts with I. I'lan, I don't know, anything. But these ones do not. From 7, 8, 9, and 10, it's written like this. Now, this would lead me to believe that the same way that you would say stakhdam in the dialect, you would say stakhdam. Then, if this is truly if this is truly epenthetic and not phonemic, then in the dialect you should be able to say istikhdam, listikhdam. But I feel like in most cases they are pronounced il-istikhdam or ma بعرف. Like I feel like it's, I don't know if it's as a rule or if it depends on the word. I haven't really investigated. I just realized this recently when I was making these words, and I was like, I think that these are actually should have a hamza in the dialect, or like I mean at least that there is a phonemic hamza or an inserted hamza, but there's a hamza. It seems it's not like this in the dialect. I don't know about Fusha or whatever. But yeah, that's why I'm for now I'm changing all the 7, 8, 9, and 10 verbal nouns to being in the form or starting with like hamza like with a hamza, rather than just like what was it, istiraha, just actually write down the thing, because I don't know, it seems like it is a hamza, not epenthetic, but I need to check that. Yeah. How are we doing, friends? Are you kidding me? Oh my god, why? Okay, fine. Are you guys seeing this? Like, what is this quality control? Like, I don't understand. If someone knows, please tell me how to not have to brute force this. I mean, it's what? Now it doesn't want to change. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's because I have my Arabic keyboard. I'm just like resetting the camera or the video capture device, which is like, I don't know, because I don't know how to refresh it or make it not freeze. There, okay, now it's back. Anyway, where was I?
استعمر
استعمل
Okay.
شو شباك
صبح
سبع صدفة سدس شغل
سكر
سكرية
شكرا
سمعة
صورة سرماية سرة شرش شرطة شرطي سوريا سرعة سخن سوق
I don't know. سخن ولا Okay.
سوق
سوقي
شوي شوية سخونة صيام سخونة صيام
طاب
طبرية
طبخ
تبع
طباخ تبع
طبع
طبيب طبيعة طبيعي طابور
طبخة
طبعا
طفى
تف
طاح تحضير
تحت
تاكسي
طلب
تلفون
طالما
ثلاث ثلاثة
30
13
تلفن
طالب ثالث
طالع
ثلج تل
ثلج
ثلاجة
طلع
تلميذ تلميذ طلع
طلع
تمام
80
18 8
ثامن
طمن
تمر
سنة
I think this was supposed to be two recordings for the same word. I think, and one, I don't know, but I think this was, he recorded one and then he decided to record the other one or something.
تنكة
Then I came. Yeah, sorry, I'm just, because I'm going to the gym after this, so can't live without my creatine shake. Okay, where were we? Tanake, Tani,
تاني طنجرة
Tannash, Tanura, Tanwim. I should just say the words myself.
طناش
But it's always fun having people record them because, I don't know, like, they're native speakers after all, and like, sometimes they have a little slightly different accent, or they have a slightly different way of saying that word, and I have my way of saying it, but like, there's multiple pronunciations, and then there's one that I wasn't aware of, or like, you know, for me, I think like, for example, with the word with Cyprus, I thought it had to be Qopros with the qaf, and then I heard Qopros, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I only heard Qopros, and then someone said Qopros, and I was like, so which one is it? And then I realized that it's both. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting when you hear all of these recordings. You always discover new things. So, good. Just checking about it being frozen.
طناش تنورة تنويم
ثانية ثانية
Wait, what?
ثانية ثانية
This is a duplicate.
طاقة
ثقافة
ثقف
طار
طار طرد ترك
طرد
تاريخ
By the way,
ترك
this can also be tirik.
طرد
تاريخ
طريق طارق
ترجم
طرطش
Interesting. Wait, what?
طريق طارق
Okay. Do I not have طريقة? I might not actually, even though that's a pretty important word.
ترجم
طرطش طاش تصرف طاسة تاسع
طش
طوارئ طويل البال طويل طاولة
توج
طول باله
طول
طوالي
طور
طول بالك تخت
طخ
طايش
طيب
طيارة طيب تذكرة
طاء
طاقية تأكيد تقريبا طقس تعب
طعم
طعن
تعبان
تعليقة طعم
طعمة
تعب اتبادل اتبدل اتبرع
اتبخر اتدرب اتدوش
اتدخل
اتضايق
تيتا
اتفضل اتفاجأ
اتفرج
اتغدى اتغلب اتغسل
تغطى
اتغير
تهبل
By the way, notice that this is an example of speakers having different pronunciations. The main speaker who recorded most verbs speaks with a lot of epenthesis. So he adds this I before the verbs, especially these verbs that start with a consonant cluster. So he says اتبادل اتبدل اتبرع اتبخر اتدرب اتدوش. But then my other speaker who recorded most of the nouns, but some verbs, he does not do that. He pronounces initial clusters with no problem. So one would say ikbir, the other would say kbir. And you can hear it quite clearly here.
اتغسل
تغطى
اتغير
تهبل
Do you see? One says with the epenthesis, one without. And they are completely both normal.
اتحدى
اتحدث اتحكم
طحال
اتحمل اتحمم
اتحمس اتحارب
اتهرب اتحرك
اتحرش اتحسن
تحشر
اتهاوش اتحول
طفل تلفزيون تلفزيون
طلع
تلميذ تمساح تنساش
تنتين
طير
19 9
90 طيز
تعب اتجاهل اتجمع
اتجنب
تجاوب
اتجول
اتجعلك
اتكبر
تكرر تكثف تلحلح
اتلاعب
اتمدد اتمنى
اتمرد
اتمرن اتمشى اتندم
اتنفس
اتنكر
اتنمر
12
اتنصت
اتنازل
2
توب توبة توم تور توستر
اتقاعد
اتربى
اتراهن اتراجع
ترين تصفن
اتسكر
شكوى
اتصالح
اتسلى
تسمم
اتشمس
اتسرب اتصرف اتسرع
تسقف
اتشتت
تسقف
اتشتت
اتصور
اتساءل اتفق
اتحد
اتهم اتكل اتطلع
اطمن تطرف
Oh, I thought it was the verb.
اتطلع
تطرف. Ugh. Oh God, I missed my oh, whatever. Okay.
اطمن
اتطور
تاوب طاوش
اتصل اتطور
الثلاثة
تفاح طفولة
تحفة
طول طول كرم تلت تم تمن طن
تراث تركي
تركيا تسع توت الأرض توت
اتوفى اتوجه
اتواصل اتوصل
اتوسع اتوقف اتوقع اتخبى
اتخجل اتخلى اتخلف اتخانق اتخرف
اتخرج
اتخصص اتخوف اتخوت
تخيب
All right, anyway, sorry. If you think this is very boring, yeah, it can be. So it's frustrating that it doesn't just. Could you be pressing some random hotkey? Unlikely, but oh. No, I don't know. I fixed it. Anyway, yeah, this is pretty much what my work looks like a lot of the time. Actually, this is more fun even than at least the programming stuff, which is just a huge pain. But I'm probably gonna end here because I have things to do, and I still have quite a. I mean, I have a few hundred, I guess, probably. I'll probably do more streams like this, honestly, because sometimes, yeah, I just sit in my house and do something for like hours, and it might be something that's kind of amusing or like, just it's kind of interesting to show what goes into this work behind the scenes. As I said, the next step is going to be kind of migrating those audios. I'm probably going to delete the audios that are on the website right now, which are just like 200 or something, but they're the same web audios that are in this folder, and then bring in the specific ones that I have created words for, and then go down the list of audios in this folder and create the words for these audios, and then the Wiktionary. So I think that's a good kind of step-by-step, that's a good kind of plan for the next few days / however long it takes me to make 3,000 words. Obviously, I have to make content also for my lessons and everything, so I can't forget to do that. But yeah, anyhow, for now, I think that's going to be it for the stream today. Thank you for watching. I mean, it's been almost 2 hours. Yeah, I mean, thank you for watching, but in a way, like, I didn't really have any expectation that people would watch or anything. Like, I'm just kind of sharing and working, and you're all welcome to sit around and ask questions, or whatever. So yeah, I'll see you hopefully maybe some other point this week. I have some things going on. I'm traveling to Armenia again. Not this coming week, but the one after. So we'll see. But yeah, just know that I'm working voraciously to bring you all more Palestinian Arabic content. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know, hey, you know what, maybe if you have a cool video idea, I can make one. So stay in touch and join the Discord if you haven't yet. And otherwise, we'll be in touch, and I will see you soon. So bye bye.